Hi guys, so today I'm going to be going through some of the camera settings with you today and just giving you a general overview of the purposes of each one and how they work. So first off, I'll show you where these settings are. So you can find them on the top little dial on top of your camera. Right now I have mine set to auto mode. You just want to make sure that the little dash in the picture lines up with the setting picture on the dial. So we'll go back here. So with auto mode, it's really good for just your quick, easy shooting. It'll kind of adjust your flash and color tone according to the scene. Typically I'll have it on autofocus for this one. If you just click the top button here where you take the photo, if you put that halfway in, it will automatically focus your image. And then if you press it all the way in, then that's when it'll take the picture for you. So we'll move on to our next imaging option here. So we're going to go right to our portrait mode. I'm skipping creative mode because I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit more about that in another video coming up. So for now, with our portrait mode, this is really good for blurring the background in order to make the subject stand out. It also makes skin tones and the skin just look softer. But an important tip for this setting is that you want to select a location where the distance between the subject and the background is the furthest to optimize the blurring. So you don't want to be right up next to the object that you're trying to blur. You want to make sure that you have some distance between yourself and that background. So if you have a telephoto lens, it is recommended. If not, that's okay. And just make sure that when you are taking the image, we'll just press this button here, which makes it show up on our big screen here so that I can show you guys. You want to make sure that the subject lines up with that middle square there, and that'll just ensure that the focusing and the blurring is accurate and how you want it to look. So for our next setting, we're going to go to the landscape shooting. Here we go. So this setting is really good for wide scenery and it focuses everything in from near to far. So it really gives you some crisp images, really sharp, and it's good for vivid blues and greens. It really brings those colors out for you. You can also use this setting for shooting at night, but recommended to use a tripod just because night shooting can result in some image blurring. So you want to make sure that you have that tripod with you. So we'll move on to our next setting here, and that is our little flower there, and that is for close-up imaging. So for close-up imaging, it's for small things, close-up, small objects. And so if you have a macro lens, I would recommend you to use that. If not, then normal lens is sufficient. You want to use a simple background to allow the object to stand out. Nothing too busy, otherwise it takes away from that object. And you want to move in as close to the object as you possibly can. And so that's pretty much it for that. I find that for this specific setting, I like to turn my focus on from autofocus to manual focus, which is just on the side of the camera here, which you can just click onto manual focus there, and then you'll use this front nozzle to adjust the focus. Some camera lenses don't give you the opportunity to zoom, which is what this second little ring is for, but it'll typically give you that, that top ring that helps you focus. Okay, so our next mode here is our sports mode. So there's the little running guy there. So for the sports mode, it's for moving objects so that you're not getting that image blurring from the object moving or the subject moving. If you have a telephoto lens, again, that's a good lens to use for this. And you want to make sure, again, that you're centered on the subject. So this little box here, you want to make sure that that's on the subject. So that's pretty easy one. We'll go on to our next setting, which is our food setting, which is the little fork and knife there. So this setting's really good to make food look bright and appetizing. You can also change the color tone. So I'll take this off. And so you can see right there, it'll allow me to change the color tone for us. So what you want to do is you want to press the little Q, which will bring you to this. You can use the up and down arrows to go to what you want to set. So if we want to change the color tone, then you want to use these little dial here to go left or right. So if we want our food to have a more reddish tint, look a little warmer, then we go to the red. If the food's looking too warm, too red, then we want to go to the left, and that'll make it look a little bit more cool. So it just gets rid of those reddish tints. If you like how it looks, then just keep it in the middle. So it's kind of as much in depth as I'm going to go into this setting here. But you want to avoid using the flash with this setting because it may reflect off the dish, and that results in natural shadows, which don't look very good on our images. So for our next setting, we are going to change it to our night portrait mode, which is really good for imaging people at night. So again, for this one, you want to make sure that you're using a tripod just because of the night imaging, it will cause blurring. So just having that tripod reduces motion, giving you a nicer image. So this night portrait mode obtains a natural looking night scene. And a good tip for this setting is that if the subject looks too dark, you want to move closer, and this will utilize the flash. And if the subject looks too bright, then you want to move further away. So that's pretty much all that I have for you guys today. If you have any questions, just ask in the comments. I will be doing another video later on just talking about the creative mode and how to utilize those settings. But other than that, I hope this video helped.